Hey, welcome back to Unstoppable Agents. This is the channel that real estate agents come to build their business, build their wealth, and build a life of impact and significance. A big deal. Life is an impact sport. It's not just about making contact, it's about making an impact and making a difference.
Went to her house and spent the next couple hours dealing with that, but we were able to get her house listed and get things done for her, and she's super excited, and she's already closed. So
that's great.
We were, for clients that are serious and ready to act, be ready to act right with them.
Yeah, be ready, I guess.
My name is Brian White. I'm a local realtor, associate broker, and team leader at eXp in Dallas, Texas. And really, this show is all about bringing you the experts so you can build a business and you can build that life of impact that we talked about. I'm excited today because we get a 2-for-1. We get Dan and Connie Couse joining us. So guys, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Hey, thanks Brian, for inviting us.
This is going to be fun. I'm excited in particular to chat with you guys because I can never remember how long ago it was, but it's been 3, 4, 5 years that we see each other at all the conferences. It's one of the reasons I love to go is because you get to catch up with amazing people like you. So now we get to do it. We don't have to go anywhere. We're just hanging out together.
That's right. Yeah, it's a little easier. We don't have to.
It's a little easier, a little more comfortable, comfortable. To jump right in. We'll come back around and talk more about you here in a second, but I like to get started with a little bit of meat for our audience and just say, what 3 things, so for agents that are trying to build their business right now, what 3 things would you tell agents to do?
You want to start, Connie?
I would say keep in contact with your sphere, anybody that you come in contact with through work, church, any social groups, the gym, just to keep in contact with them. Just reach out and see how they're doing.
I think to tag onto that, add one more thing to that, that for us, we have 4 children. And so historically, you can't not meet new people. And so for us, that's been something in the past that we've done that, we've embraced that, and it almost happened to us. And now we're finding that now that our kids are all done and out of high school, we're having to do a little bit more purposeful of adding additional people into our database. It's not quite so automatic as it used to be, and that's okay. We just need to be aware of the fact that you always need to add a few extra people into your database and keep it fresh, keep the pond fresh, and as well as stay in contact with people that you've done business with in the past, letting them know that you're still there to help.
That's really great. That's really great. So the first thing is building your database, building your sphere, and staying in touch with it. What's number 2?
Number 2 is this kind of going back for us too, just, gentlemen, this is a football, just kind of like Vincent Lombardi going back to the basics, is we had heard many years ago that it's pretty simple on the building your business thing. Find nice houses to sell them, then tell people what you did. So take the opportunities as you sell these homes, let people know, whether it's social, whether it's through your database, whatever it is, to let people know that, oh, hey, we're still doing real estate. We're helping buyers and sellers. Oh, here's a new home that we've sold. Here's a new home that we've listed. And so basically just use those opportunities to market around your listings as well. So you've got your database and then your current business of finding those nice houses to sell them and then tell people what you did. That'd be the second thing. Right? Third thing for us is just basically be ready to, for us, we're still in production. And so when people want to buy a house, go do it. Like for us, that is, sometimes it's that day. If somebody wants to go see a few houses, it could happen. It just happened to us Friday. We showed 4 houses on Friday afternoon to a guy. A new house came on the market that day. He said, no problem. I'll go see the house. I'll go see the house at the open house tonight at 4 to 6 p.m. He called us, we called the agent, they were accepting offers until 8 o'clock that night. So we had to hurry, but we were able to put together a good offer package and he got it that night and he's super excited. He's a first time buyer. So be willing to do things when they need done.
Or sometimes during the Chiefs games.
We're Kansas. Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, we had a client.
We love the Chiefs. I love the Chiefs. We love Mahomes, but we've had to miss some Chiefs games. So.
Yeah. We had a client a couple of years, or bought a house a couple of years ago, and we were going to watch a Chiefs game on a Sunday afternoon. This has been, probably a month and something ago. And she called and she said that she wanted to sell her house. And we said, when were you thinking about doing it? And she said, as soon as possible. And we legit dropped what we were doing. We recorded the game, went to her house and spent the next couple hours dealing with that. But we were able to get her house listed and get things done for her. And she's super excited and she's already closed. So
that's great.
For clients that are serious and ready to act, be ready to act right with them.
Yeah, be ready, I guess.
And it's even more important right now, right? June, July, August, there's plenty of business. There's a lot going on. But we're in the winter, both from an actual weather perspective, and things have been slow for a little bit. So now there's an opportunity, and every time there's an opportunity, you got to be even that much more on top of it. to make sure that you capture the ones that are available. When there are fewer fish, you need to catch a higher percentage of them. So good job there.
Yeah, we see the same thing on that. It's every opportunity to earn business seems like it's more important right now.
Would love to, I'm actually going to go back and dive into to several things you said there. But first, let's just take a step back and tell me about you guys. Like, how long you've been in business? Tell us where you're at, because we want to make sure that people watching this can refer you. But tell us about you guys. Tell us about.
I'm going to jump in and answer that where we're at. We're in the Kansas City metropolitan area.
Yep.
The municipality that we live in is called Overland Park, Kansas, is where it's one of the suburbs here in the Kansas City area. And we do service pretty much the entire Kansas City metropolitan area. So if there's anything that we can help assist, if you got even family here in the Kansas City area and they just need a recommendation to a reliable contractor, yes, reach out to us, because we both started out in that side of the world.
Right. And sometimes people get confused. They're like, are you on the Kansas side? Are you on the Missouri side? But it's both.
Yeah.
So.
The state line in Kansas City, right over here, about 30 blocks is Missouri. That's when we say we service both sides of the state line, it really is. We can be in Missouri in about 3 minutes. So that in Kansas City, Connie and I both started out in the home building or real estate development side of things. And this is going back to the mid 90s to the early 2000s. We were both employees. Exactly 0 of the 2 of us were in sales.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. So yeah, neither of us were in sales. We both have business backgrounds, accounting, finance, economics, and we were both working in administrative roles for the companies that we were working for. So no sales going on for us. We just got to the point where we were pretty familiar with the real estate processes, and some of our friends who are those people that are outside the business, they don't know what we're supposed to know or not know. So they knew that we were in the real estate business. And so they had asked us to help them with their transactions. And so we helped a few people buy and sell houses, and that was the start of things.
We did our own.
Yeah, in our own house. I was working for a home builder and developer, and I was the one getting the building permits and hiring the contractors, but I didn't own the company. But when 2008 happened, nobody needed any homes built anymore. 2008 was probably in the Kansas City market when things really hit the skids. I know it started in other areas in 2006, 7, 8, but for Kansas City, it was like that. And so we made a decision that we had met other real estate people. We had done some real estate transactions, helping buyers and sellers with their things. And we made the decision that if we worked really hard at that, we could stay in real estate, which we liked, and try to figure it out. So we made the elective decision to become real estate salespeople in 2008.
Yeah, so like you were aware of what, so I talked to a lot of people who've built great big businesses like you guys, and many of them honestly started around that time frame. Most of them were not aware of what they were doing. You actually did that on purpose. You saw that and said, okay, great, now's a good time. Let's jump in and work hard. I love it.
Yeah. We just figured that if that's pretty much it. If we worked hard, we should be able to help people with buying and selling homes like we had done a few of, but we needed then to make it a full-time deal, which ended up being hard, but we made it through.
That's great. So how does, on the Kansas, Missouri thing, were you able to get one license? Are they reciprocal for both states, or do they make you get licensed in 2 different places?
The company that is training, they know people are going to be trying to get both licenses. So you take one class and you take your portion, and then at the end of the class, you can pick up the other side, and it's pretty easy to do, pretty easy to get both of them. And many people did. Because we had friends. What's that?
Seems like you would have to. Like you said, if people are literally back and forth across the border, you almost don't even know which side you're on.
Most of the people that are full-time real estate professionals, within at least the first year or 2, if they only decided at the beginning to get one side of this, either get Kansas or Missouri, they'll pick the other side up.
They figure out, oh crap, they want to see something on the other side of on the other side of the street. We should be able to show that.
Correct.
Right.
That's great. Okay, so you didn't start with EXP. So tell me about kind of the start and how long it took you to get here. Tell me about that decision process.
I'll let Connie answer that one. My background is, like, before getting into real estate, again, back in 96, I used to bank. My background is accounting and auditing, and I want information before I make a decision, et cetera. So we started to take a look at EXP. And from the time we started looking at it, it was 3 years before we finally joined.
Oh, wow.
If it would have been up to Connie probably would have joined in about 6 months or a year.
Actually, just give me the paperwork.
Yeah. It took a while. We made the right decision. I wish we'd have made it a little sooner, but we didn't. So we can't look back on that. But it's been a great experience. And we knew that it's something we wanted to do, but it's hard to change. Sure. And there were no reasons looking back that we shouldn't have done it earlier. It's difficult to make a change, even if you.
And the person that introduced to EXP, he was at the previous brokerage that we were at. So he was familiar with us, familiar with what we were looking for. And so it was an easy transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's done, it's a relationship move, right? So you're already in a relationship with somebody and they're able to make it smooth and it's still able to make connections and make the adjustment easier for you. So that's awesome. Yeah. How long ago was that?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, 5 years ago, when we started looking at it. 2 years ago, right around now, February 2021 is when we go, even though we started looking at it 3 years prior to that.
Well, that's hilarious. And this is not an indication. Usually you say when something feels like it's been much longer than that, it'd be an indicator of tough times. But I do feel like I've known you guys for a lot longer. I must have met you like your very first at the very first conference.
I think so. I think we ran into you like at one of the first events that we came to. We were fortunate enough to meet you guys. So yeah, we've been following all the cool things you've been doing since.
Thank you. We're having fun. It's a wacky world. Hey, I want to go back to, so you started off and this is the way we do our business too, and it's a way for me to learn and it's a way for our audience to learn too about just sphere of influence business. When you meet new people, so when you meet new people through your kids, whether that's in the past or still folks you meet, like how do you transition them into your database? How do you transition someone from, hey, I just met you, we've got a new relationship, to, hey, now you're in my marketing database? Do you do an 8x8? Do you an indoctrination plan? Like how do you bridge them over to your marketing plan?
The 8x8, the 33 touch, very familiar with all those. We would have used to have started it. After people, we would run through an 8x8 of what we thought was useful information, like that would be helpful if nothing else. And so we would run through that and start the relationship like that, let them know, hey, we're in the real estate business. And should you ever come across someone buying or selling a house, we would love to help. And the key thing is to let them know that you can help. And if you have somebody already that's a professional, if they already...
Are you there?
Are you there? We jumped out for a second. I apologize.
I'm there. Go ahead. So go back to kind of restart that answer. Okay. Around bringing somebody on board, like you just meet them. How do you get them into your database and introduce them to your marketing?
Yeah, historically, when we would have met new people, we would have a framework for an 8x8 or 33 touch that we would start with them just to let them know that we can help them should they ever need any assistance in real estate. And we would do that. And we had, whether it's postcards or things that we would use at the time, we used to do that same thing. Now, I would say more recently.
Well, and I think then that was like we would say more at the beginning we did that. And then I think we told you that we had 4 kids. Our 4 kids were in 5 years. So we were going to a lot of things. And so for a lot of the people that were in our database, we saw all the time. Yeah. And like at school, at games, at practices, and we saw them a lot of time. So we were talking to them all the time, or we were going to birthday parties. I mean, everything. And so we didn't need to be mailing them all that stuff. Sometimes we would go to some games and they'd be like, I got yours. So we're like, wait a second, maybe we should rethink this. And so then that's when we did the newsletter, like mailer piece once.
We probably got away from doing the 8x8, like a series of 8 different things. And if we met them, it'd be a phone call and in person. We'd run to them at a game or a music concert or some sort of back to school event. And it would be a couple of communications like that, a follow-up phone call. And then we would add them to the people that we were keeping in contact monthly with a newsletter. And then 2 weeks later, it'd be an email that kind of tied in with the same topic. And then conversations. There are probably some people legit that we would see at school or in the stands that instead of 33 touch, it was like 80 touch. We would see those people 80 times a year. And there are some people that we had asked the question, if you ever came across someone who's buying or selling a house, do you have a trusted real estate professional that you would call? And they said yes, and it wasn't us. And so that's okay too. At least we knew.
And we're not a fit for everybody, and that's okay. So That's totally fine. And I usually say that, hey, if I'm not a fit for you, then perfect, because somebody else is going to better serve you, and neither one of us is going to enjoy it. And that's great. It's awesome if somebody can serve you better.
And for us, if there's in our market, if there's however many homes are going to sell in a year, 40 to 45,000 homes in the Kansas City metropolitan year are going to sell. We don't need to sell all of them. Like, we just need to do our 40 to 50 or whatever. So
you'd be tired.
It's okay.
You'd be tired.
Yeah.
That's great, because I know that's one of the questions that people get is, how do you do it without being weird? And how do you market to friends and family and people you come across? And I think you guys do it beautifully in that, hey, we're not trying to indoctrinate you right out of the gate. Hey, we just met. Now we're in a relationship, and we just want to keep you informed. Hey, I don't have to bring up real estate, or I don't have to say, hey, it was great hanging out. Hey, if you ever sell your home, make sure you call me. Okay, then that makes it weird, but you can market to them in some subtle ways that just reinforces it. So that's great.
Yeah. Be willing to provide service, and some of those people may not be able to buy or sell a house with you, but if they're people that like you and they like you, or people, that you like each other, that you can provide valuable services to, there might be an opportunity. Like the people that live directly next door to us, they have never bought or sold one home with us. But when they've needed help, if they needed a stucco repair or they needed a plumber, we've been helpful to them, and we have subsequently worked with their parents, sisters, another sister, friends. So it's all like, you can't buy and sell a home or sell a home with everybody, but if you're helpful and you have a good relationship with them, there might be an opportunity for some business to be there when it comes up.
It's great. It's great advice. And that's why you guys have run a successful relationship. So congratulations on having that mindset and having the business that goes along with it. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I guess in wrapping up, do you have any parting thoughts that you'd like to share with the audience? Anything you didn't share, or anything you want to make sure that people know?
Just being real. There's some things, and things are shifting or changing or whatever. And so same thing for us. Like, it's basically just the other day we were in the car and we're thinking, okay, what do we really need to be focused on right now? What are the most important things? And again, really, to be honest, it's Sphere and find nice homes to sell and get them sold and tell people what you did. It's basically going back to those things. And I heard one other person recently say in the last picket, like in last year and the year before that, there was a lot of stuff that was in the clouds, like all these lofty things about what people are going to be doing. And right now it's getting in the dirt, and everybody's back to the basics. And this business is a contact sport. And so if for some reason you had gotten away from your clients, God forbid, if you didn't, let's say you had somebody you sold a house to 5 years ago, and you didn't do as good a job as you think you could have, you could either just let that sit, or you can take action today and call them up and say, you know what, along with everybody, like in my industry, everybody got so busy. I'm calling you today. I didn't do as good a job as I would have liked to have done. Good. I'm calling you today. How can I help you? Like, we would love to help you if there's anything that comes up, and just be brave enough to make those phone calls if you haven't been doing them religiously before that. It's okay. And they'll probably be excited to hear from you, because it's not like they may have not called you either.
Sure. It's amazing how disarming an apology is. When you're genuine and just say, hey, I haven't talked to you in forever. I am so sorry. What's going on in your life? Great. Good to catch up. Hey, how can I help you? And it's amazing, and people will respond to that. So I think that's great advice.
Yeah. And I wish there was more magic than that, but unfortunately.
No, it isn't any magic. And I think it is tough out there right now. And like, you're already paying for your cell phone rather than paying for leads. You're paying for your cell phone bill. And so it's almost like free. It's like call that you can make for free. It's like social media too. Funny. Like Facebook. I'm sorry. And also like Facebook, like when somebody's having an anniversary or a birthday or whatever, and they're your friends. I know that you aren't always on there, and we'll go on there and we'll acknowledge what they're doing with their birthday or anniversary or friends, or if they've had a vacation or their kid has had an event, then we'll do that too. And that's all good stuff. And then you're knowing what they're doing, and I don't know, all that's good stuff.
It all matters. I've got a lender that when you talk about free in the phone, and I've got a lender that I worked with, and we closed a first-time buyer together. And he took the buyer out to lunch later and said, hey, so traditional, who do you know that's looking to buy a home? Maybe one person. Okay, great. Who's selling? Okay, nobody. This guy's 24. So he doesn't have a lot of friends that are selling their home.
Right.
Yeah. He said, oh, you mind if I ask you a few more questions? Who do you know that's having a baby in the next year? Oh, interesting. Who do you know that's renting that might be thinking about buying a home in the next year or two? And it was all of a sudden, so would it be helpful if we just educated them on what that might look like and help them prepare for that? Yes, absolutely. And then would you make introductions? Yes. So all of a sudden, hello, introduction to 15 to 20 new first-time homebuyer clients we'd love to serve. And it was just as simple as following up with somebody that we did a great job for in the first place and just asking the questions. So we don't need to buy leads in this business. If you do a good job and you do the follow-up questions, then it'll grow from there.
That is awesome. That is awesome that you said that, just because those things are such great reminders. We get off track and people think they need to buy leads, and you might just need to ask a little bit better questions. Like you just said, who do you know that, who just landed a new job, like maybe after college or whatever?
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today. Congratulations on your success, and couple years in for making the decision to join EXP. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're excited. Thanks for including us. It was cool to get invited by you. So thank you much.
Hey, you're welcome, man. Folks, if you're watching this and you're buying or selling in the Kansas City area, if you know somebody buying or selling in the Kansas City area, or if you just want to visit and have somebody drive you around, then I'm sure Dan and Connie would love to.
That's right. We can help them. If they're in Kansas City, we'd love to help them.
I'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care.
Thank you.